our first bone of contention, and for the benefit of the Kenyan public, the High Court declared that the wording of the offense of robbery with violence, as it is in our penal code, is unconstitutional. And therefore, no prudent prosecutor, no prudent state should charge any Kenyan for robbery with violence before the Attorney General amends our criminal statutes. We are happy that the court appears to have agreed with. Thank you, members of the press, for this very effective coverage from the time Njoroge was arrested to the time he was arraigned in court on the 5th day of June in this year of our Lord 2024. Ian was charged with 3 counts. The first count was on robbery with violence. The second count was assault causing grievous bodily harm. And the third count was resisting arrest. When he was arraigned, the prosecution made an application that they wanted 3 days to oppose bail and bond. We argued against that application, and in all fairness, the court granted them 1 day. We came back the next day, and we were able to substantively argue out why Ian was to be released on bond and bail. And the state had refused that Ian should not be admitted to bond and bail for reasons that, one, the offense that he created was so serious that if he is released, he may not attend court. Secondly, that Ian was, or most likely would have interfered with witnesses if he were to be released on bail. And thirdly, that it would pose danger to Ian because members of the public were in agitation against him. Of course, as the defense counsel, we opposed, and our first bone of contention, and for the benefit of the Kenyan public, the High Court declared that the wording of the offense of robbery with violence, as it is in our penal code, is unconstitutional. And therefore, no prudent prosecutor, no prudent state should charge any Kenyan for robbery with violence before the Attorney General amends our criminal statutes. We are happy that the court appears to have agreed with the defense that the coaching of that particular offense was declared unconstitutional. And therefore, the court proceeded to determine the application based on the second and the third charge. The court has dismissed the arguments by the prosecutor that Ian can interfere with witnesses, and said that the prosecution has not presented before court cogent evidence as required by law. The court has further dismissed the state's allegation that if released on bond or bail, Ian will be in danger of being attacked by the public. And the court has reiterated the argument by the defense counsel that it is the responsibility of the state and the police officers in terms of Article 29C of our Constitution to provide security to all citizens, Ian Njoroge included. As such, the state's argument has been rejected, the application has been rejected by the court, and Ian Njoroge has been admitted to a bond of 700,000 shillings. What this means is that Ian's parents, relatives, or friends can deposit something in court worth 700,000 shillings, either a title of a plot or a logbook to a vehicle or a pay slip that is of such magnitude in terms of the shares in a SACCO, and Ian will be released. But because the court sat up to 3 and there is a procedure of confirming whether the logbook or the title is authentic, we undertake to process it over the weekend, and on Monday morning we will present the surety documents to court and Ian shall be released. It's also imperative to note that the medical report has been availed to court as had been requested, and it is quite damaging. They have confirmed that Ian has a fractured jaw. Ian was assaulted badly by the police officers. In terms of the report that has been deposited, it is a matter that the defense counsel will not take lightly, and we intend to file a constitutional petition against the National Police Service Commission and equally charge the respective officers that assaulted Ian while in remand of assault causing grievous bodily harm, among other charges that we intend to bring forward against these officers.
So as we speak right now, Ian is going to spend like the whole weekend in jail. up to Monday?
It is 4:10 p.m. as we speak. We are doing our best. The court has given us up to 6 p.m. this evening, so that if we are able to process the surety documents, we process and deposit in court and have Ian released. If we shall not be able to meet the timelines by 5 p.m., the only other working time will be Monday morning. And the problem with surety is that if it is a title document relating to a plot, the valuer must value it at 700,000. Having valued it, the DCI and the lands registry must confirm that the land is authentic. Because we've had cases where accused persons have brought documents that are not authentic to court and secured bail. If it's a logbook, we must get some report from NTSA affirming that the name appearing on the logbook is indeed the name of the owner. Be it as it may, my colleagues are already out doing their best to ensure that we beat the 6 p.m. deadline. But if that will not happen, then Monday morning will secure his release.
Mr. HS, are you able to expand more on the medical report?
On the medical report, I'll expand on the face of it because, one, I'm not a trained medical doctor. But the language in which it was presented, it was the language of the court that an ordinary layman in medical terms like myself will understand. And the doctors are saying that Ian has a fractured jaw, that Ian had marks which were showing assault. And from the time Ian was arrested to this time, he has been under the custody of the police officers. So the presumption is that Ian has been assaulted by the police officers handling him. When we raised that matter on the first court appearance, because we had physical marks on Ian's body, and we raised to the court that Ian was being tortured at the police station, the officer who presented Ian simply said that Ian had been beaten by other inmates, other prisoners. And the question is, who bears the responsibility? Every prisoner, every remandee in the GK prison is under the care of the police. So if the police allowed the other prisoners to beat Ian, they would only have done that on the instructions of the police officers, knowing that if they did themselves, they'll face the law. But I want to assure them that even if they used other prisoners to assault Ian,